All right, you guys, thanks for joining here, making this video in hopes to help everyone that's making these guns and hopefully not having issues with them. But if you are, hopefully this video will help you and how I assemble them, and we'll go from there. This is my first time ever making a video, so bear with me and be patient, please. So anyway, if you have the instructions as well, I'll try and kind of stick to those instructions because, again, that is how I build it. But essentially, this particular gun, I'm going to start with all my center pieces, which are here. And again, if you look at the holes, because the way that, oh, missed some pre-mask. So again, because the way the Glowforge cuts, the inside piece, the hole should be a little bit smaller than on the outside or the top, because this is where the Glowforge would have cut through, and it's a little bit skinnier on the inside. So that kind of helps you line up. So again, there's this skinny hole. So again, what I do is I usually take my toothpicks, I put the two together, and I just stick them in like so. And then I pop the top off. Again, I like a kind of a gel type of super glue. And again, just, oh wow, plenty there. Kind of just spread it around. And then again, I kind of hold it there, kind of readjust everything, because you can see that it kind of gets off just a little bit. I mean, they're identical pieces, but just the piece doesn't quite hold right. So I'll just kind of hold it for a minute until that glue sets up. My fingers are sticking to it. And again, with this, it usually glues really fast, so it's good and bad. It's good because I don't have to hold it very long. Bad because you got to move quick. So again, it's kind of already set up good enough, so then I move on to the next piece. Again, kind of finding, looks like an inside. So then I line it up. Again, you'll find that no toothpick is made the same. And I do like my toothpicks to be snug. That way I don't have to worry about them falling out. Again, just throwing in some glue. And this one's pretty lining up spot on. So I'm good with that. And again, I have the centerpiece. So again, there's no real order you have to do this in, but I do like to start with these. Oh, what the heck? Okay, either way. Well, let's make sure. Let's see. That one's gonna give me issues. Definitely don't want any glue hanging out there. But again, just kind of holding those until they're tacked. And then we're good. So now, what I like to do is I like to take my side piece, and this isn't necessarily in the instructions, and it's not necessary. I just kind of like to do it. And of course, I don't have a pencil. Okay, Well, anyway, what I like to do sometimes is just kind of trace along here with a pencil, and that way I can kind of make sure that it's good, that when I put the glue on, I put it in the right spot and it's not hanging over anywhere. But we'll just go for it this time. So I know that's going to be covered, and I need a little bit right in here. So hold that. You want to just kind of check here and make sure that this piece is lining up good. Because again, once you put your trigger piece in, you want to make sure that you got some nice areas there so it's not too much friction going on. So we will do that. Let that dry. And now I'm going to put this piece in here. Now what I like to do here, again, everything should be lining up just fine for you because of the holes. But I do like to do just a test drive. So just making sure, again, that's flush, so I kind of know, okay, I want to make sure that this is flush. And I should have plenty of wiggle, right? Make sure your trigger works. So now that I've done that, I'm good to go on this piece. Again, just making sure. See, that's why I like to do the other, so that I don't put glue where I don't want glue. Again, while it's still kind of wet, make sure it's good. Just testing that out. Okay. Now while that's drying, I'll set that aside. This is when I like to take and sand my trigger piece. So this is some 320 extra fine. That is not necessary. I've done it with other sandpaper. This is just happened to be what I have. And so I do have to sand it a little bit more than if you had a lower grit, which means you have more or thicker, coarser rock on the sandpaper. So I got to sand this quite a bit. So again, I'm not really taking off that much. I'll flip it over. So, I mean, there's take off a little bit, but I mean, it's really fine, really coarse. Or really fine, not coarse. Then blowing off the trigger. Everybody should have some. Canned air is not necessary. I just have it sitting here, so I decided to use it. Again, I'm going to take the trigger, kind of just, should be kind of below, just barely below these pieces here. That way it's not having any friction anywhere. So again, now that I have this piece done, these toothpicks are too thick to go all the way through, so I'll pop them out, flip them. Oh man. Again, no toothpick is created the same. There we go, that works a little better. I'm gonna poke them through the other side. And that way they're just barely poking out, right? Again, I've placed my trigger, because I'm going to glue the other side on now. And again, just stay clear of your trigger so that you don't glue your trigger in place. Again, I'm not going to go down there because that will be shown. So glue it and put it together. Making sure your trigger moves all the time. And again, you can hear that it moves pretty freely in there. Shouldn't be catching at all. And again, so that should be good there. While I have those toothpicks in place, throw my other piece on. So I'll tap some glue on. And put her together. Okay. Ooh. And again, at the end of the day, you don't really need all 4 of them in place, because even really 2 of them, oh man, will work. But I'm gonna just do 3. Man. Again, you don't have to pre-mask both sides, but I do like it to be clean, so I do. And put that on top. So we'll let that dry. And again, I apologize. I need to find out exactly what size these are. But these are the rubber bands, and again, my wife just had them. I'd originally bought some rubber band guns from another guy, and I really liked his, so I'm like, hey, why don't I make my own? Anyway, so just small. I mean, they don't even go over my pinky at all. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to use for my front trigger piece. And again, kind of just test the trigger. Should be smooth. Should not have any friction. If it's got friction, you're going to have issues. So pop those toothpicks out. Man. And again, number 16 wood bands. I just bought these on Amazon. If you want, again, you don't have to. Just, I mean, shooting them a few times will help you. But you can take and kind of give them a good little stretch. Kind of just, when they're brand new, they're a little tighter, which is kind of actually nice. It shoots really good. But if you're having issues with them shooting, just giving a little tug will help you. So again, what I like to do is kind of test the movement of it. So again, it should advance up and it should shoot off. So I kind of like to do that. Obviously, the other one is just to test it right from the top to make it sure it's shooting off, and it is. And then I'll usually do like 3 rubber bands. Although really it's too late, I've already glued it shut. Although you can get a knife and pry it open. Maybe sand down your trigger a little bit more. Again, making sure that it shoots. So let's try all 5. And adding 5 rubber bands does make it, it makes it more difficult. You're pulling against 5. I mean, you got the tension of 5 rubber bands instead of, you know, less, but obviously it should work with 5. That's the whole point of it. So, again, that's that. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, I am happy to help, and hopefully this will get you on your way. Everything should be the same with any other gun that you're putting together. Follow these instructions and you should be good to go. Thanks for watching.